Oh, hey, Nadir, what are you up to?
Oh, nothing. I was just browsing the excellent selection of books here in the library of the Night Court. I don't suppose there's anything you'd like to read?
I would actually love to find some books for my favorite tabletop games.
You would probably want to actually take out a book like that, and I don't think you want to navigate the Fey rules for borrowing and lending. Instead, you may want to look at our sponsor, Dragon Master Games. In addition to tabletop gaming books, you can get dice and accessories, and they're a fantastic local store and would love to have your support.
Oh, hey, that's a great idea, but we're in the Feywild, so I can't go to the store right now.
Oh, not a problem at all. You can go to their online storefront that's linked in the show notes, and be sure to write in the comments that Bard Rock Cafe sent you.
Alright, I'll do that. Thanks, Nadir. Anyway, we should get on with the show.
And welcome back, everybody, to Bard Rock Cafe. This is episode 60. I can't believe we made it this far. Is that really correct? All right. Last time being episode 59, which is the episode that comes before episode 60, which is the episode that we're on. The party traveled from the Witch City to Baba Yaga's forest. Party goofed off for about an hour and a half, and that was good times. As they arrived, after some romance, after some discussion, after some playing around, the party, with oddly a small coterie of birds following them now, has arrived at Baba Yaga's forest. And they were greeted by scarecrows just scattered about throughout the underbrush and the tree line. Brock sent Inky to just shred one, and it was just a scarecrow. But then, a few minutes later, as they're walking, another one hopped into their path and looked at them and went, "Caw, caw!" And that was where we ended last time. On Bard Rock Cafe! What do you guys want to do?
Brock would like to try psychically talking to the bird and would like to try and communicate with it in a coherent language.
Okay, what do you say?
Can you repeat that, but in a language I understand, since it just caught at me?
Run away! Run away!
I would absolutely love to, but, you know, I've been baking all these baked goods for who I presume to be your master, Baba Yaga, and I think she would really love my delicious baked goods, and I hold up a delicious muffin to offer the Scarecrow who has no mouth.
She wants to bake you! She wants to bake you!
I mean, I haven't done that since my college days, but I'm down for it. But yeah, no, I know she fully wants to murder us. We still need to talk to her. I hope she'll at least talk to us over tea and cupcakes. But yeah, I'm fully aware she wants to murder us. That is not a surprise.
So, I will say it this way. You guys definitely, you knew, one, that you were heading into Baba Yaga's forest. And two, you saw the scarecrows that were not there before. So if you guys wanted to do, some prep work and have that in place, I'm absolutely okay with that. If you want to have
the voice chat?
Yeah, the Zoom call up and running currently. It's not Rary's telepathic bond, it's the Zoom call.
Yeah, I'd like to cast Zoom call.
With that justification, anybody else have anything they would have done heading in here?
Oh, the mage armor, who's a what's-it thingy. Yeah.
How long is mage armor? Is it
It's 8 hours.
Okay.
It's a while.
Did the bakery delights give us any buffs?
Actually, I do have the chef feat, so yes, if you eat one of the delicious treats, you get some temporary HP.
Ooh.
Cool.
But only the ones I designate as treats, not the one we're feeding Baba Yaga. I did not poison the ones for Baba Yaga, because I do not have Dust of Deliciousness. But yes, I gave you each a baked good. Rook's is some sort of honey roll, sweet roll thing, because that's the stuff Rook goes for. You all can have whatever baked good you want. I probably gave Epi, because Epi's a goat, a carrot cake muffin.
Well, what kind of options did we have?
There was matcha cakes, banana nut muffins. If it's a baked good, I have a fully stocked food truck. I baked whatever the fuck you want.
Armbar would like a coffee cake.
Yes, I made you some coffee cake and a tiramisu.
Ooh.
Does it have to be baked?
No, I have a fully stocked box of colding and a magically enchanted pilot light stove thing. I can cook it. I can chill it. I can bake it. I can roast it. Barbecue's a little strange to figure out. I think I have to like pull out a grill and set it up outside.
Oh, thank you for the whole bowl of Werther's Originals.
Oh God.
Yes, I can definitely make candy. That's not an artisanal skill in D&D, I'm sure.
It's just, there's this weird looking attachment on the outside of the food truck. It's just like, what is this? It's where we make the candy.
And Brock just leans into Nadir like the hard part was wrapping them all.
Well, the hard part's going to be unwrapping them all.
Yeah, anyway, Brock's like, I know she wants to kill us, but are we good to, like, just keep going, Scarecrow Man? I don't know if you're, like, a warning, like she's putting you out to, like, discourage us, or if you're trying to stop us because you care about our well-being, but are we allowed to proceed? Is that, like, a thing we can do?
We're not supposed to attack you yet. We're not supposed to attack you yet.
Can you, like, Daisy chain the message down? We'd like to sit down with her for delicious tea and baked goods before she kills us, and then if she still wants to kill us, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I like to skip to the part where I feed her this matcha cake I made specifically for her. I have it on poor authority she likes matcha cake.
I can't speak. I have no mouth. I can't speak. I have no mouth.
This is a problem.
Boss, maybe you should cut him a mouth.
No, that feels like it would result in us getting attacked.
Oh.
How close are we allowed to get before you guys do attack us? Like, screaming distance of the hut?
We wait until you're on the island.
Oh, cool. We'll keep going then. If you want to come along, what is your name, Scarecrow? Do you have a name, or can I name you?
Crow.
Crow. Oh, Crowley. Okay. All right, take a seat here, Crowley. You can sit up here next to me in the front of the wagon.
The Scarecrow hops up onto the wagon, because why not? You watch as you go along the pathway, more Scarecrows come out of the woods and are, like, lining the road around you.
Which is a hilarious sight with all the crows that are actually following us.
Right. And there's more. You see a bunch of Scarecrows just set up all inside the woods. Some of them are moving, some of them are not. There's really not any way to tell how many Scarecrows actually are there that are, like, living. Air quotes. You are definitely warned at this point that your presence is noted and welcomed? ?
I mean, welcomed enough. It's not a trap if you know you're going into it. That allegedly that is a showdown or something like that.
Well, so you walk through the dense woods and the brambles and along this little pathway, and just like before, the tree line breaks behind you. And you see Baba Yaga sitting in a rocking chair on the front porch with a
shotgun.
With a shotgun.
Freeze, bitch! I just buckshot!
She's drinking a 40 while polishing her shotgun in her rocking chair.
Want some moonshine?
You're in my country now. No.
Oh dear.
No, Baba Yaga is sitting in a rocking chair on her front porch. There are several empty bird cages scattered about. The lake is full of water. There is grass and flowers and a sweet smell to the air. You remember last time there was a hallucinatory terrain everywhere. It's clear that this has taken effect again. But it looks like an idyllic little cottage out in the middle of nowhere. There is a bridge leading from your side of the lake to the little island where Baba Yaga's hut is. The hut no longer looks dilapidated and run down and, old. It looks like a cottage. Smoke coming out of a brick chimney. It's nice.
Right. I would like to lean over to Epi and go, okay, well, she doesn't like me, but she likes you. Can you ask her to either come join us for baked goods or promise that the Scarecrows won't attack us and if we come over and offer her baked goods? And let her know we also brought her birds.
I will do my very best.
You got this, and I tap Epi on the shoulder and give him a bardic inspiration.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm going to get a little bit closer, and I assume it probably would have taken us at least a minute to get over there. Would I have had time to cast a spell or two?
Yeah. Like, it doesn't take a long time, but you have some trekking to do through this underbrush area before you got here.
Okay. Because I have this fun little third level spell called Animate Dead. It takes a minute, so it's hard to do in battle, but I also...
It's an entourage of zombies, crows, and scarecrows.
I mean, I also have the ability to get a couple of them. Let's see, where we are. I have this undead brawls.
We just have the most goth mosh pit behind us.
I figured I'd have them hide in the wheat field. They're probably there, just in case. But, I get an extra one whenever I cast it. So, you've got like a few of them.
So where are you finding bodies?
Are there just bodies in the dirt?
Nope. Not that you see.
Are there just bodies in the dirt?
It's a field. Sometimes there's bodies in the dirt.
This is such a wizard question. Why are there no corpses around? We should make some. This is an inconvenience to me.
Exactly. I'm a necromancer with no dead things around.
Kenny, I would like to ask a follow-up question that may benefit Epi. When we came through this before, wasn't there just a bunch of spiders, spider webs, and presumably the husks of things spiders had eaten?
Yes.
There's gotta be some skeletons and shit around here.
Yeah, there's gotta be some spider leftovers we can use.
Like, I mean, how many skeletons is Epi trying to summon, and how trivial are they?
Old man, why have you not perished yet? Fireball!
Sorry, old guy, I need your skeleton.
Damn it, Epi, why couldn't your super powerful lich patron have given you the ability to summon a demon instead of some zombies?
Look, man, I'm not very good at networking.
All of my skeletons are arthritic. They're very weak.
I didn't know we had the deer skeleton.
Well, we do now. I just got fireballed.
Okay, so
you're going to die anyway. Let's get on with it.
Wait, no, I got this, okay? Kenny, I have a fully stocked kitchen, yes?
Yeah?
No.
Epi's man made the skeletons of however many it is, chickens. I just had a bunch of rotisserie chickens.
can I reanimate just one bowl used for a barbecue?
I don't think Kenny will sign off on me having an entire fucking cow in my pantry.
We can piecemeal it together. This is how you make a chimera. It's fine.
Epi has been for the last 2 days taking a bunch of rotisserie chicken skeletons and stapling them together to make a regular ass skeleton.
It is okay to tell me no, we do not have corpses for me to reanimate.
The thing is, here's the thing, right? Is Animate Dead targets a dead creature. And you need to have either a corpse or a skeleton. And what you get is either a zombie or a skeleton, right? You absolutely have, like, rotisserie chicken bones, right? Like, if this is really a thing that you're wanting to do, and you just march in there with rotisserie chicken skeletons to fight the scarecrows, like, sure. Why not? This is our brand, right? This is Bard Rock Cafe. Random shit happens here.
Yeah, as long as they have the already shitty stats of a regular skeleton, which is already a, like, CR 1/4 monster, I'm
right. I was gonna say, like, I can't nerf it much, right? I can't give you, like, the bow and arrow that a skeleton normally has, but you can have the chicken's peck attack, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so what I'm hearing is I can have the undead version of what happens in Legend of Zelda.
I'm so glad that we both thought the same thing.
Because I would love to have an undead chicken army.
Okay, so new plan. We make a single undead chicken, and we get Baba Yaga to step on it with a horse. Is that the...
Where did the horse come in?
Because that's how you summon the Kuko army in Ocarina of Time. You just step on one with Epona.
Well, that's how you do it and not die to it. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, it's just the fastest. I mean, we could also have her stab a chicken 27 times, but that feels unnecessary.
So wait. Chicken army, right? Dot should be the commander of the chicken army.
Yes, Dot is the leader, is the chicken brigadier.
That's what I think.
Yeah. Dot mounted on the back of a zombie chicken.
Dot is also supposedly a chicken, are they not?
This is my best day!
Yeah, right? Dot's thrilled, man.
So how many rotisserie chicken skeletons do we get with your spell slot, Epi?
I would argue, since this is enough to summon a whole ass zombie, can it be enough to summon 2 chickens per zombie human?
Here's what I will do. In lieu of, what does it give you? Like 4 skeletons or something per casting?
So if I got 2 chickens per 1 human zombie casting, that would give me 4 chickens for 1 spell. I also have Danse Macabre if I want to summon an additional quantity.
The way the spell works is that you can, for each casting, you can create 1 zombie or skeleton, or re-exert control over up to 4, right? So what I will give you, because these are very, very small chickens, they're rotisserie chickens, is I will give you a swarm of rotisserie chicken skeletons instead of a skeleton.
That's honestly cooler and funnier.
That is honestly cooler. I like my swarm of rotisserie chickens.
With the added flavor of sometimes during the swarm the bones get, like, shuffled around, right? Like, it's not super clear where one ends and the other one begins, you know? Because it's all just chicken bones.
That's kind of badass.
You know what's going to bite us in the rear is when Baba Yaga kills one and breaks the wishbone and gets to cast the wish spell.
It's fine. She won't find it.
Why would you give him ideas?
I was about to say, like, that's
That's kind of badass.
that's cool as shit.
Well, here's the thing. I was going to joke that we could do that, but then Kane was just going to no-butt it. So I skipped to the part where it was his idea so that we could do it.
So I have a swarm of chickens.
You have 1 swarm of rotisserie chicken skeletons.
That looks a little bit like a mosquito swarm because they're just kind of putting themselves back together, which is super badass.
And it sounds like the cuckoo swarm from Legend of Zelda.
Okay. Alright, cool.
But, like, horrifying, not... Yeah.
Yeah, they're just intermingled with all of the regular mundane crows following us.
It's fine. We have some bone chickens. It's all cool.
There's a very clear, like, 10 feet where, like, the crows that are following you do not approach the chicken swarm. Just...
Anyway, Epi, Baba Yaga is looking at us with her shotgun and her 40, very patiently waiting for you to talk to her.
Yeah, alright. So, ma'am, last time there was a bit of an incident where all of the crows got loose after we came to visit, so we brought them back.
What?
Epi has thaumaturgy, don't belabor this.
I cast thaumaturgy. There was an incident with the crows, so we brought them back.
Oh. You let the crows out?
Not on purpose.
The cage was locked and smashed, dearie.
It sounds like you had a very smart bird in there, but I can assure you I did not personally open the lock. But we brought some back as a gift and to smooth things over because, again, we don't want to offend.
Alright. She gets up and uses her shotgun as a walking stick and makes her way over to rehang one of the empty bird cages that is lying around. She's, alright, have them fly into here if you wouldn't mind.
I would like to use my first level spell, Animal Friendship, to convince the birds to do that.
Huh?
Alright, that's... I'm just gonna roll 1 time. What's your...
DC 17.
So I got a 16 on the dice. The question is, what is the wisdom check save for...
God, I love this game.
I'm so glad my DOS loot is the thing I have, because that's why I have that spell.
So, the wisdom score for a raven, which is the only crow-like thing I can find, is a 12, which means it has +1. which means it has met your spell save DC. So the raven's like, nah!
I'm gonna silvery barbs that fucking bird.
Okay.
And I'll give advantage to Epi, I guess.
That sounds like a good idea. Okay.
Anyway, did I proc wild magic on either of my spells?
Yes on animal friendship. Yes on silvery barb. So let's resolve that, and I'm gonna the reroll is 1 lower.
Alright, so 28 is the animal friendship one.
Okay. And then the other one?
59.
Okay. So 2 effects, right? 1, anytime you cast an area effect spell. So if it affects an area, whatever that area is, you are counted as inside of it.
Noted.
Okay.
Do I have an area of effect spell?
You might not. I don't know.
I have Nefarious Mischief. I might charm myself. Oh dear.
Right. So, but that's only for spells you cast, right?
Okay, noted.
And then, what was the other one? You said 20...
59 is the second one. 28 was the first one.
You recall a bit of local trivia that you believe will impress folks, but which actually originates from a different region. So,
I know shit. I incorrectly know something about the Feywild. That's not really a stretch.
Like, I don't know. I got nothing.
You heard it from Epi. It's fine.
Anyway,
it's give me a factoid about the Winter Court, and I think it's about the Spring Court.
Oh man, there's actually an iceberg where on the bottom of the iceberg there's a city.
Guys, did you know that somewhere here in the Spring Court there's an iceberg with a city underneath? Wait, that doesn't sound right now that I said it out loud.
Global warming's pretty bad out here for doing that.
Seems obviously incorrect for the Spring Court.
I mean, it wouldn't be the weirdest thing in the Feywild.
Very true.
Anyway, the birds, I presume, do go fly into their new home.
Yeah, so they're going nah the whole time they fly into the cage. And she locks it. She goes, okay, thank you. Would you like some tea?
Sure. Would you like some matcha cake?
Maybe.
And, are we welcome on the property, or, I believe the alarm system, I kind of nod in the direction of the scarecrows, was telling us that maybe we weren't allowed on the island?
They told you that, did they?
Well, they don't really have mouths. It was...
Nope.
They can't really tell us anything.
Right, kind of made them that way. For a reason.
So are we allowed on the island, or...?
Yes, you can come safely to the island. They won't attack.
Thank you so much for your understanding. I appreciate it.
Obviously, the food truck isn't coming across that little bridge to her island, so we're going to park it across the bridge, and we'll just kind of, have my unseen servants take several picnic baskets of all of the shit we brought, and all the fixings to picnic up.
Okay. So as you guys Fantasia your way across the bridge, what do you all do? Is anybody staying back? Are you all crossing the bridge?
I would like Jenny Greenteeth specifically to stay with the inside of the food truck, along with all the other non-combatants and the sleeping Doubletail.
Jenny is actively hiding right now.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Everybody who's not the party or a combat resource is in the food truck.
I'm last.
You're last?
Yeah.
Okay.
I am also notably riding my steed alpaca across the bridge. I am not getting off my alpaca. It's where I'm going to be sitting.
All right. So you all go across the bridge. Baba Yaga waves her hand, and a couple of tables appear. Little, kind of like little, what are they called? They're not vanity tables, but like the little round ones that you put the tea on, with the little doilies and the teacups. Is side table? Yeah. So, and like, these little tiny, not tiny, but like petite chairs, right? Clearly out of place here. They just appear, and at each location is a cup, and she takes her pot off of the fire and goes around and serves all of you a cup of tea.
Miss Yaga, I just want to ask, and I'm not trying to be rude. I just want to double check because this has come up before. That tea's definitely not poisoned, right?
I would never poison a guest, dearie.
That is a step above someone who has poisoned me as their guest with tea before, so thank you.
Not everyone's as a accommodating host as you have been.
Across the multiverse, Diana sneezes.
Oh.
She wasn't in her right mind. It's not.
She also tried poisoning Sarah and the Trader through tea as well, so maybe she was in her right mind.
Baba Yaga pours her own tea and sits down. So, I appreciate you bringing another round of crows for me. What brings you back?
I psychically asked Rook if Rook wants to have this conversation or if Rook would like Epi or I to do it.
I think you guys should do it, but just let me know when you want me to show the necklace.
Right, I'm going to, unless Epi doesn't want to, let Epi take the lead, even though I'm traditionally the face, because Baba Yaga likes Epi better.
That's very brave.
You still have the bardic inspiration.
That's true. So, it has come to our attention that one of the folks that we're traveling with has their dad stuck in a necklace. And I hear you're pretty good at getting people unstuck from cursed objects.
I can be. Odd that you would come and see me and not anyone else.
Well, we had it on good authority that you'd be the best one for this particular job.
She is just sipping her tea. Okay. Continue.
So, is there a particular payment you might want to take in exchange for these services?
Who is imprisoned that you want me free? That you want me to free? I can grammar, I promise. I'm not that old.
It's alright, I do the same thing, ma'am. So it's Rook's father, if I'm not mistaken?
Well... Baba Yaga leans forward and says, if it's her father, then a little bit of blood ought to do the trick. And her eyes slide over to Rook. Is that right, dearie?
Blood where? On what?
She produces a tiny little sewing needle and says, just a drop. For me to use.
And there won't be any uses of, like, the uses of the blood are limited specifically to this one spell. There's no further drawing of the blood or using it for other spells or having it on hand or anything like that.
You're so untrusting of me, and you came to me for help.
Of you, no, but I was born a noble, and unfortunately, I did have to go through so many law classes. It's mostly just practice. Just, to make sure everybody's on the same page and nobody gets surprised by anything. That's how you wind up with crusaders in your front yard, and we don't want you to have to deal with that. That's just a lot.
I don't understand any of what you just said.
That's alright. I learned it in my legal classes.
We very seldom understand most of what Epi says. Can I roll insight on whether or not Baba Yaga is planning to do some bullshit to us?
Sure.
That is a 17 plus 8 for a 25.
Baba Yaga rolled a nat 1. So, with a 25 insight against her nat 1 trying to... She is so off-kilter with Epi being Epi. Baba Yaga clearly knows what's going on here, right? She knows... She might know who you're talking about, even. She knows, first of all, that it's not Rook's dad, right? She's fully...
Oh, is he not Rook's dad? I thought he was.
Huh?
No, that's why I asked if Stephanie was wrong or if Epi was lying, because he is very much not Rook's dad.
Oh.
No, Rook's dad was a whole other guy. We thought he was Rook's dad. He's not. And I think Brock
at
the point to step in.
I thought this was the witch that turned into the Spring Court Prince because he got promoted.
Right. No. That is...
Okay.
That is a Tyler level of wrong. No offense, Tyler.
Hey.
That's rough.
Dear audience, I want you to know Tyler once asked me in a text message, can you just recap the story of the podcast? I don't remember what happened. Not like the story arc, the entire show.
It's been years.
Arnor had a brief flash of normal level intellectual function. He's like, how did I get here?
Look, Paul has told this story several times. What he fails to leave out is that Tyler asked this before episode 2. So recapping the entire podcast.
Tyler wasn't even in episode 2. Anyway.
He wasn't?
No, episode 3 was his first appearance.
Correct.
I was stuck under the rubble.
Yeah, he was in the hospital.
Oh.
Anyway, I think with my 25 insight, I'd step in and correct it. I'd be like, no, Epi, you got that wrong. We thought it was Rook's dad. It's not. No, that was a theory, and we confirmed it was not correct. That is legitimately the truth. That's Paul saying it's legitimately the truth, not Rock. No, but so this person, as I understand it, is the Lord of the Spring Court, and I think we were told that you could free him because you might have been the one to put him there, and I'm sure like he probably did something very rude to you. I understand. Is there any way we can smooth that over and let him out so that the Spring Court isn't overrun by spiders?
The Spring Court is overrun by spiders.
We traveled for like 6 fucking days through all the spider webs. Yes.
I just thought they had a spider problem in the Feywild. It's not the weirdest shit we've seen. There was these pixies, and they were just doing all sorts of nonsense. Anyway, deepest apologies. The Feywild is a nightmare realm, and I want to leave as soon as possible. Alright, so how can this be smoothed over? How can we get to where we can get this little prince out of his necklace and everything be fine? I'm sure there's a way that we can both come to a mutual resolution on it.
Okay. You're correct. I did imprison him. I promise
Can you teach me that spell?
One step at a time, Epi.
Oh, alright, focusing.
Baba Yaga leans forward again and is like, are you certain you want to learn?
I think so. It sounds extremely useful.
One thing at a time, dearie. What are you offering? Why should I free the prince from his very pleasant cell?
In negotiation, there's an offer and there's a request. Is there something you want that we could provide? I have material things. I pull out because of all the gambling, we have a fuck ton of valuable things, including that contract, the Castle Lanterns we talked about offering her. But I don't know what you want. But what does the most powerful witch in the Feywild need?
The prince came to me asking for something similar. What did I need? I gave him his request, and he gave me his future. For me to give it back, I would need one of yours instead.
Alright, so, follow-up question. I assume you know our futures because you are a very insightful and powerful witch.
No. I don't know anyone's future.
Let me put it this way. I have it on questionable authority that you deal in magic related to fate. Have you heard rumors of the Feywild of our traveling here? We are chosen by fate, quested by fate, if you will, to prevent the pending apocalypse. So I would love to give you my future for this prince, but the reality itself might collapse if we don't have a future.
It doesn't bode well for any future dealings if there's no future to deal with.
I can give you the future of these fuckers, and I hold up the contract. They have to do what I say, I'm pretty sure.
Ha! That's their souls. I have no use for that.
Ah, shit, that's a difference. I didn't know. I studied music magic.
But that is very valuable in the demon realm. You could definitely exchange that for a demon's future fairly easily. They're very power hungry. They'll exchange just about anything for that kind of power.
But there's very few demons anymore now that hell itself is gone.
And that's why you don't want to take our futures, because if we get our futures taken, hell will simply no longer exist. So we are trying to prevent a lot of damage from happening, including damage to your properties.
But my dear, that's exactly why I want your future. You still have one.
It's more of a long-term investment. You'll be able to get a lot more futures, which when combined will be worth more than just one measly future. And besides, if we're gone, then there really won't be any other futures for you to have.
In theory, if we all have a future, then if people were with us, if you were to say, come with us back to the material plane, you have a future as long as you're in proximity to us, and we win the thing requested to fight.
But you don't know your future. I could get it. Whatever twist I wanted.
What twist do you want?
What twist do you want? I can sew very well.
As much as I would love to be ruler of the kingdom and show everybody up that I had to grow up with and deal with their racist little shit with me being a tiefling, unfortunately that isn't really worth my future. And also, I really couldn't explain that purchase to anyone in my family. So, I'm afraid mine is off the table.
Anyone else?
Rook could put hers on the table.
No, you're 15. We're not letting you make any sort of permanent decision like that. I appreciate you're your own woman, but that's... there are other options besides trading entire futures.
Well, what if I just don't get the future I want? What if I just get a different one?
Will Rook be trapped in a necklace?
Are you asking the DM, or are you asking Baba?
No, Bob. Like Brock is asking. Basically, are we taking the Lord of the Spring Court's place inside the Amber, whoever trades their future?
Here, yes.
May I politely ask for clarification on that sentence?
The Lord of the Spring Court is living out his dream future right now. Just not here.
What was his dream future?
He sounds like he's in a pocket dimension with it, like reality is what he wanted it to be.
Of a sort. Like I said, I have crafted a lovely future, but only for him. The rest of the world just spins on.
If he doesn't want to be let out, he wants to be in there, that's a whole other question and problem, but the Spring Court does need him.
True, but there's also the added problem of there's not exactly going to be a future if whatever is happening to the plane swallows up whatever he's currently sitting in.
If one of us gives up our future, Baba Yaga, will that that cause the apocalypse we're supposed to prevent from, will that cause it to go on? If hypothetically I were to give you my future because I have lived a good life and I think that I think that the most important thing is that we continue on. If I were to give up my future, would that make us less likely to succeed in stopping the apocalypse?
I don't have the answer to that question. It depends on how tightly you're intertwined with the apocalypse.
Brock, I'm happy to say that unfortunately all of our fates, including yours, including Rook's, are very intertwined with the end of the universe. So, Baba Yaga, we have another thing we can offer you, since you're such a big fan of fate. So you know about the Tablets of Fate, right?
Of course.
The Tablets of Fate imbued us with a certain power, and gave us a certain deck of cards that we can draw from that would greatly alter fate, if we needed it. In exchange for releasing the Spring Prince, I think it would be perfectly reasonable for you to draw from the deck. You would have the ability to change fate in a perfectly unknowable way.
Show me the deck.
Don't let her touch it.
This is true. I'm afraid you'll have to promise that you don't touch it, because if you do, we're going to sick that guy on you. And I point back at Armbar.
Ooh, yeah.
I don't know if threatening the super powerful witch is the way to go.
Only if she tries to touch the deck. Unfortunately, we do have to have some terms and conditions that you can't just snatch it out of our hands and Epi pulls...
Dearie, I am a polite host. I would never touch someone's deck without their permission.
How do you feel about if we were just give you a picture of the deck, an unsolicited one?
Oh.
God damn it. I don't think anyone likes unsolicited deck pictures.
Epi, we just opened up a gift shop to help raise funds to rebuild the Bard Rock. Look at this fancy new design.
I'd love that on a new t-shirt.
You are transported to a world of t-shirts, all identical. You can feel your sense of self slipping away from you as the shirts reach out and grab you and assimilate.
I cast Dispel Magic.
Epi, where'd you go?
Wild magic. Don't ask. It was terrible. So, where's the gift shop going to be?
Oh, well, we have two storefronts, bardrockcafe.redbubble.com and tpublic.com/users/bardrockcafe. So anyone can support the Bard Rock.
You know, the coffee mug is really cute.
And that's not all we sell. We have t-shirts, hoodies, children's apparel, baby
Bard
onesies,
Rock
notebooks,
Cafe's gift shop is now open. Sales go to support the show. So if you want to help out and also get some cool Bard Rock Cafe merch, go check it out.
And that's everything we had so far. Epi, are you listening?
Hmm? Did you say something?
Epi, Diana, I brought you both a cup of tea. It's not Earl Grey, but I think you'll enjoy it.
Oh, I've had your tea, and it's all cups of lies.
First of all, I make the finest tea prestidigitation has to offer. Second of all, this is a new line of teas we'll be serving at the Bard Rock from now on by our partners at Many Worlds Tavern.
Oh, I've heard of them. I'm particularly fond of Sleepy Fields and Golden Root myself.
Well, look, if it's good enough for Diana, it's good enough for me. I'll have a cup of that Farthing Harbor.
Of course! Here you go. And I pour Epi a cup of tea.
Epi, roll perception to determine if the tea is made of lies.
Damn it. That's a natural one.
First of all, you are absolutely convinced Brock used prestidigitation on this tea. Second of all, you feel a wild magic surge inside you, and dozens of thirsty customers appear outside of Brock's food truck right here in the graveyard.
No worries, folks. We have plenty of tea from Many Worlds Tavern for all of you. Try a cup of Sage's Gate or Sacred Spring. Somehow I already have dozens of cups of this already prepared and steeped for this occasion.
Of course you did.
Want to brew some of this delicious tea at home? Just go to http://manyworldstavern.com/bardrockcafe and use the code BardrockCafe at checkout to save 10% on your order. As always, a portion of your order supports the show. And if you're a coffee drinker like my good friend Armbar, they have options for you there too.
Brock, I'm happy for you and all, but get your food truck and all your customers off my lawn.
Sorry, Dan, I can't hear you. This tea is selling like hotcakes. And so are the hotcakes. Bye, everybody.
Where are we now, Llewellyn?
Well, Meanie, it looks like we've arrived in a universe where Jump Leads is part of the Bard Rock network of podcasts.
The Bard Rock Network? Wow! That's a whole new audience ready to experience our adventures jumping through parallel universes, like when we found that colony of religious robots, or the time we were chased by a knife-wielding dinosaur.
What about when you spent a whole episode looking for a bathroom?
We don't have to talk about that.
Listen to the scripted sci-fi comedy podcast audiences are calling a cross between Sliders, Doctor Who, and Lower Decks. Jump Leads. Season 1 available now wherever you get your podcasts. Season 2 coming soon.
Who was that?
Sounds like this reality is actually an ad spot.
An ad spot? Wait, so none of this is canon?
It was, until you asked that question.
Well, alright then. And the thing where you kind of pull it from the hard energy thing like we did back several episodes ago, Epi pulls out what it remains of the deck and is holding it in his hands just so she can see it. And then after showing her, she gets to look at it, just zaps it back in.
How interesting.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you are amicable to the deal.
Do you know what you have, dearie?
A deck of fate.
Yes. You would let me draw from the deck.
In exchange for the prince coming out of his little happy place and having to go back to work? Sure. At this point, I'm sort of bitter that he gets to live in his little happy place while the rest of us are wondering if our families got sucked up into some spooky little void while we were away.
Honestly, I kind of want a future where I just get to run my happy little restaurant and don't have to worry about the weight of the universe on my shoulders. That does sound nice. I don't think it's fair he gets to skip out on his very important job. We're not.
True, and you'll be able to get that later through hard work. Sometimes you just have to put in the work. You can't just escape into some little amulet and call it a day.
Rook has a question for Baba Yaga.
Yes, dearie?
How come I have this? Why didn't you protect it? Did you sell it? Or did you give it away?
The prince traded his future in exchange for protection given to those that he cares about. I don't know how you ended up with it, but the amulet is protection.
I see.
Can you elaborate on that? Protection from what? Illness, disease, death, assassination attempts?
How's that different than death?
One's a little bit more permanent. It's more what's coming first. Like, if they're dying of a disease, maybe we can prevent it. If they're dying from immediate assassination attempts, that one might be a little more pressing.
I feel like death is a catch-all. You don't think you needed the 4 other ones that just led to death.
They all lead to death. It's just a matter of, like, how long does he go?
When I wear it, doesn't it protect me from being detected by stuff?
It does. It hides you.
It hides me, yeah.
Protects you from those that would seek to do you harm. It secures your future.
What was he running away from?
The prince. He was unable to protect someone that he cared about. So he came to me to change their fate, and offered me his own instead.
What was he protecting them from?
I didn't ask. I didn't care. We made a deal.
Would you be able to release him just briefly so we could ask that question?
No.
And we can just ask him when he's free. I think, Miss Yaga, are you amenable to the deal? We can just ask him when he's free if you're amenable.
Very well. It's a deal. But I get to draw first.
Is there any way we would know if there's any sort of, like, magically enforceable thing? Oh, we have Sprit. Sprit can enforce the deal. I'm sure his magic's more powerful than Baba Yaga's.
We do have an imp from the realm of the genie units.
He's not an imp, he's a sprite. There's a difference. Racist?
Oh. They all look... Alright. So we have Sprit.
Yeah, so Sprit just whips up a magical contract really quick that I'm sure Baba Yaga could muscle out of.
Sprit is just like, this is... What is Sprit like? This is like putting handcuffs on Superman. Like, just like, yeah, sure, okay.
Yeah, like, but I want there to be a contract. That's all. Even if she could probably just disregard it completely, the idea that she at least signed a contract is something.
Sprit's just looking at you like, want me to do this? With her? Okay.
Can I use my nobility bullshit to make sure the contract is legally binding?
Yeah.
Okay.
Baba Yaga is amenable to this.
I don't think she should draw first.
This is true. Unfortunately, no payment until services are rendered.
Then it's not a deal.
Alright, how about this, Baba Yaga? After you free him, if we don't let you draw from the deck, you can have my future. That is your collateral.
Very well. You will trade your future for his until I get to draw.
Correct.
If you don't get to draw.
That's a problem for future Brock.
You all feel you are all tied to fate, right?
Mm-hmm.
You all feel as Brock's particular threads get pulled, right? You remember in the library of fate where all of your strings are kind of linked together?
Mm-hmm.
You feel the way you imagine a sweater feels when one thread is being yanked out, right? Where, like, you just keep pulling and pulling and pulling, and the thread keeps coming and coming until finally it snaps.
Feel good.
Nope. Draw your card and put the thread back.
The world, like, time itself seems to, like, dilate around just this area that you guys are in. And you see Baba Yaga with a pair of gold sewing needles pulling the thread from Brock.
I would like to grab her hand with the scissors in it and have the deck in mine. And just...
She doesn't have scissors. Sewing needles.
Draw.
Well, she says, hang on. Do you let her finish what she's doing?
It looks sus as hell. I don't think so. Draw your card and let him go, or I'm pretty sure the universe as we know it is going to unwind.
She stops in the middle of what she's doing. Brock, make a Constitution saving throw as your body tries to readjust to the sudden interruption of what was happening.
I feel like 15 plus 3 for an 18 is not good enough.
So you're okay. You are violently ill, right? Like, immediately just lose your lunch. It's...
That is like the worst night of college. Like the week after finals, that is what that just felt like. Ugh.
Yeah, you feel...
I throw up on Minibar.
No!
Minibar didn't do anything.
He dodges.
I have that fate crystal, right?
Yep.
From the Raven Queen?
Don't you fucking dare, you'll die.
No, can I kind of try and magic-y use it to make sure she gets a bad card?
Are you trying to use the fate crystal? Question 1.
Look, I'm sitting there thinking I could either do... Epi has a moment where he actually prays to the Raven Queen for just a little bit of luck and kind of tries to run some bad luck juju through the fate crystal. Like, I have a bestow curse thingy I could run through a fate crystal as flavor.
I like the idea of you praying to the Raven Queen, who is at least partially still attuned to this thing. Maybe the Raven Queen can do you a solid. I like that idea. I don't like the idea of you pushing your suicide button.
Look, I could coin of fates the suicide button and maybe not die.
You are actually correct. That is true. You could coin of absolutes it. You can do that.
And if you lose the coin of absolutes flip, you get deleted from reality.
Yeah. Which is where the pray to the Raven Queen, like, hey, bitch, can I get a solid right quick? Maybe not in those words.
You'd be better off rolling the check flat with the Felix dice.
Oh. And I do have Bardic Inspiration.
Don't make an argument for pushing the suicide button. You want to pray to the Raven Queen.
That one seems spicy. I could do that.
All right.
Did you know what I found out?
What's
that?
You can silvery barbs a death save.
You can. However, I don't think that's the wisest decision. Only one of us was a chronology wizard. Anyway, I feel like you definitely want to pray to the Raven Queen regardless, so I feel like, can Epi do that?
You're asking me if your character can pray?
Mechanically. Does Epi have time to do that before Baba Yaga draws the card?
Yeah, you can, in that moment, be like, okay. So.
Okay, I can roleplay the thing for the editors to do it. So, last, we left off, we had Brock violently ill and has to prestidigitize poor Armbar, who took the blow for Minibar. Epi holding on to the hand with the thread on it. And in the other hand, I've got the cards. I'm gonna let go of the thread hand. And then Epi just is holding on to it. You don't touch my friends. And just the same way he would whenever he was casting the Revivify Grift. Just, sort of kind of puts one hand into the sleeve of the other very non-conspicuously while he's just holding it up and just kind of holds that little marble of fate for half a second. Just, alright, Raven Queen, I know this is probably still attached to you, and I know I've never prayed for anything before because of reasons. Could you do me a solid? Just give her some bad luck. And just the slightest amount of his bestow curse magic kind of flows through that hand and up into the deck just a little bit in an attempt to twist the fate of those cards to where the bad one comes up.
Okay. I want you to give me a religion check first.
Oh boy. Felix dice Bardic Inspiration on my religion check, which I somehow have a +4 on. Okay.
Alright, I just want to, before we do this, here's what's happening. Divine Intervention is a cleric ability. You are rolling a religion check with a DC of 30 for the chance to get a Divine Intervention.
Alright, so the Felix dice is a +5 on top of whatever Epi's result is, yes?
Right. So it's a +5 plus whatever your...
Yeah, so you have a +9 and the Bardic Inspiration, which is a D10. Don't roll like shit, Epi.
Should I use the Coin of Absolutes for this one?
The Coin of Absolutes would guarantee a success or a failure.
Correct.
But here's the thing, with a +9 and a D10, you can roll the D10 first, you're definitely going to use it.
Roll the D10. Let's see what you get.
That's a 7! That's a 7.
You have a 16, you need to roll a 14 or higher on the dice.
Alright, we're rolling the eyeball dice for Divine Intervention. We'll see. Oh. 4 plus 7.
No. We already did all the pluses.
Yeah, we already did the pluses. You needed a 14. I don't think so. Let me check the words of Silvery Barbs. I think it makes you keep the... Does it keep you the new results?
Silvery Barbs would let her roll at advantage.
It just, Epi has advantage. I gave it to him off the last Silvery Barbs. Try again, Epi. This is the first skill check you made since I Silvery Barbs.
Okay. Oh, thank God. Silvery Barbs go through Epi's arm as I roll a fucking 17 on the second one.
Whew. I've never been so glad to waste Silvery Barbs to make some ravens fly into a cage.
God, that's such a good Deus Ex Raven cage. Look, there's just a bunch of bony cuckooing outside. It's fine.
And it's so appropriate. The reason that we're invoking the Raven Queen successfully is because we talked to some ravens.
Yeah. They gave her the 411.
I want you to roll a D100 and tell me what you get.
Yeah, this does seem like some sort of D100 bullshittery. It's an 85.
So you are currently...
Yeah, I'm level 11.
Your prayer to the Raven Queen is heard. You have the Raven Queen's attention. You do not roll low enough to trigger a divine intervention. So, the Raven Queen is not able to intervene in this manner. Would you like to use the Fate Gem? You've already expended all of the bonus stuff on that. That's done. Just so we're clear, Baba Yaga is about to draw. So this is...
Ah, dang. You know what? Fuck it. Let her draw.
Baba Yaga places her hand on the top of the deck. There's a thrum like the world seems to have missed a heartbeat, right? She pulls this card out of the deck. She presents...
Actually, no, the concern is she drew the Fate card, actually. Because the Fate card would let you rewrite anything, like, giving her the Fate card would be something.
The Fate card. Much in the same way that you all felt it when Brock had his thread pulled, right? Now it's happening to all of you. The world is warping around you. All of you except Rook and Nadir black out. Nadir, I'm going to start with you. Because you have seen this before. Okay? So you are able to contextualize and understand what you're seeing in a way that no one else is. You are watching as you and all of your friends are hovering up above the burning tapestry that is fate, right? As all of the threads are getting pulled out by Baba Yaga's sewing needles. She is basically reweaving the entire tapestry, including the part that you're attached to. But because you've seen this tapestry before, it's not overwhelming your senses and like you know enough to understand. You are watching her reprogram reality very skillfully.
Fascinating.
Yeah, like you are watching this happen for just a brief moment. You're able to take in that this is what's happening right now, and then you are whisked away. Brock, you find yourself on a stage about to give the best solo of your life in the Bard Rock Cafe. Epi, you are at a familiar table in the middle of sliding a diamond across the table to Felix in payment for something. You can't quite remember what, but you've been here before. Armbar, you are at the front door playing bouncer at the Bard Rock Cafe. Nadir, you find yourself back at Candlekeep. You're in the middle of reading a book, but it's like, as you look down at the book, there's a part of your mind that knows this is the first time you've ever read this book, but the other part knows you already know every bit of information in here. You've read it before, right? Brock, you already know this is going to be the best flute solo of your life. You've already played this solo. Armbar, you remember being hit in the head with a support beam and blacking out, but now you're back standing at the front entrance of the Bard Rock Cafe, and life is just going on like normal. Baragon is nowhere to be seen, the food truck is nowhere to be seen. You all remember, as if in a dream, there was a meteor that fell and destroyed the cafe today. But there's no meteor, it's just another day. And life is just going on. The crowd is kind of stopping and watching you, Brock, because you're standing there clearly disoriented and not giving the best performance of your life on stage right now. You're just looking out at the crowd. That's where you all are. Rook.
Yeah.
You watch as though you are on a solitary rock in the middle of a hurricane. As the world starts to shift around you, you watch as Baba Yaga takes the threads of fate and just weaves in something new. But as you are holding on to a piece of her own magic, your future is protected. So, as the deck of many things resolves, and she has woven everyone into this new spell, you're standing where you were before, on the island, in the middle of the lake, across the bridge, and outside of Baba Yaga's hut. She is glowing with power from all of the fate she just consumed. As you look around, everything that was alive a moment ago is encased in amber, except for you and Baba Yaga, as she has stolen the future of everything else but you.
What?
That's what we're going to pick up next week.
What? Nice. Nadir, I took your advice and ordered tabletop gaming supplies from our sponsor, Dragon Master Games. I got a new book, some dice, and other accessories.
That's wonderful. And you remembered to tell them in the comments that Bard Rock Cafe sent you?
Yeah, of course. But now I have another problem. Brock gave me the money for the supplies and said it's coming out of the budget. What does that mean?
Oh, well, our show and the other shows on the network are partially funded by our viewers on Patreon and Ko-fi. In addition to covering costs like editing and web hosting, we use some of those funds to purchase the actual games we play on air. Because, as creators, we want to support the developers as much as we can.
Okay, so our viewers can go to the Patreon and Ko-fi linked in the show notes to support us and the rest of the network? I didn't know that.
Yes, correct. Anyway, why don't you tell me more about this game you're planning?